Welcome to Winging It. We're playing Arkham Horror the card game today. This is Return to the City of Archives, and you can't tell from looking at this because we have two Yithians, but we are playing Wini over here and Jacqueline. We've been going through Return to TFA. If you look in the links below, you can see my deck upgrades, but I'll go ahead and flash them here really quickly. Here is Wini's deck. And here's Jacqueline's deck. Alright, so we did have the choice at the beginning of this scenario if we wanted to resist or if we wanted to go along with the Yithians, and we decided to resist. That's why there is an observer over here in the victory display. All right, so I'll go ahead. Normally, you drop open hands first, but we'll go ahead and just talk about the Yithians and what that means. So you don't get to play your normal investigator here. If you look, they're in the body of a Yithian. This replaces their normal investigator cards. You got all stats of 2s, and each of their ally assets gains a Yithian trait. And then a feature, after you commit a card to a skill test you are performing, you can double the skill icons on that card, limit once per test. And then the Elder Sign effect is +2, a draw 1 card. You have 7 damage and 7 horror. So I did tweak their decks a little bit, trying to make them work well in this situation. So that will definitely affect what we are planning to, what we're looking for in our opening hands. So let's get started. So we got a charisma here for Wini. All right, so Wini's drawing up opening hands. We don't want items because the acting agenda will prevent, or actually I guess it's the agenda will prevent us from putting items into play. So we are looking for some good skill cards. All right, so she gets Pilfer, Lockpicks, watch this, Lucky Cigarette Case, and 3 aces. 3 aces is an interesting thing. I wonder if we really have a good option of trying to draw those 3 aces. I kind of am probably going to be more willing to just commit them right off. Pilfer. Yeah, Pilfer's not going to be very good because it doesn't give us that agility boost until we have agility icons. So I'm actually going to scrap this entire hand. We don't want the lockpicks. Maybe I'll keep the watch this. But we don't need the lockpicks for Lucky Cigarette Case. Because those are items, and we can search for items later. All right, so we got watch this, the moon. Okay, well, the moon is not an item, so it goes directly into play. That's nice. Backstab. So we have a way to fight, but we don't have agility icons. Another backstab, and Gregory Gry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we can put Gregory Gry into play. Not sure how useful it'll be, but we can also put our tarot into play right away. So, and then I think we just end up drawing for icons, to try to pull off and investigate. Well, those backstabs are pretty useless. All right, definitely looking for some clue tech for Jacqueline. Let's see what we get. All right, we got, well, the guts will be good. Eternal Injury we can just replace right away. Call the Future, excellent card. Clairvoyance, that's good, although it doesn't boost our willpower, so that's kind of a problem. But 4 of Cups, okay, we can put that directly into play. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 1 more card. Okay, Ward of Protection. Ward of Protection seems good. I mean, all of these cards seem really good. We can at least try to use the Clairvoyance fairly early on to try and get those 2 clues off the location in combination with the guts. And the 4 cuts will boost us. So, and the Recall the Future will help us hit the test. So, yeah, we're just gonna keep this opening hand, and we'll put the 4 of Cups into play right away. We'll just put it in her hand slot, because I know she doesn't have any hand slots right now. This mat does not have a dedicated tarot slot. Alright, so we are in the City of the Great Race. Somehow you have awoken in a futuristic city inhabited by odd alien creatures beyond your imagining. You must explore this strange place if you are to find a way out. But your new body is difficult to get used to. Investigators cannot put item assets into play, including item weaknesses. All right, and then we have Act 1A, Exploring Dakotas. Getting out of this strange city might be harder than you thought. Its halls are endless and filled with all manner of complex futuristic machinery. Each copy of Ythian Observer gains a loof. So I don't have to worry about Ythian Observers messing with us. Okay, and finally, we're on this location. Right, this is the interview room, restraining chamber. Parley, a test for intellect or for fight to interrogate the captive mind restrained here. If you succeed, remember that you have interviewed a subject. If you fail, take 2 horror. And there's two clues, 4 shroud, victory point 1. Alright, so action 1, Jacqueline will spend 4 resources. She will put into play clairvoyance. Three charges on it. Action 2. She'll go ahead and investigate. She is at 3 on 4 because the 4 cups. Will commit the guts, which is 6 icons because of her ability. So she is now at 9 B4. Alright, that's a 0. So she succeeds. We get the 2 clues. Okay, we get to draw 2 cards from the guts. She'll draw Arcane Initiate and read the signs. Alright, that is a good deal. I'm almost tempted to put the Arcane Initiate into play right away. The question is, do I put the Doom on her or do I give her the Horror? I feel like almost certainly I can kill her off if I do the Doom. So I will go ahead and put her out for the last action, putting the Doom on her. And then we'll exhaust her, looking at 3 cards. And getting a spell. We'll get a Shriveling, Deny Existence, and Azure Flame. I'm going to take the Shriveling so that we have ways to fight. Although Deny Existence would also be nice. So I think Wini is going to draw cards and try to, find cards she can commit to things. But anyway, we're going to spend 3 resources, and put out Gregory Gry. And he'll have 9 resources on him. Alright, that's our first action. Second action, we're just going to draw a card. We get Arrogance. Alright. I think we just take an action to clear Arrogance because I'd rather not fail a test that actually matters. So we're just going to investigate on 2v4, 1v4, committing Arrogance. -3, we fail, Arrogance is gone. So at least we don't have to worry about drawing that anymore. Okay, Wini will draw. She gets an all-in. Jacqueline will get Rite of Seeking, level 2. So that's good. That'll help her be able to get a lot of good clues. She just has to be able to pay for all this stuff, and that is a problem. All right, we're at 2 of 5 Doom because of the Arcane Initiate, and Wini gets Locked Door attached to the location with the most clues, and without a locked door attached, the attached location cannot be investigated. Test 4 fight to break down the door, or 4 agility to pick the locks. If you succeed, discard locked door. All right, I am going to actually put this on Halls of Nakotis, just because I don't want to get into a situation where we take a test in the interrogation room and end up dropping one of our clues on that location and losing the victory point. So putting it there. All right, now Jacqueline will get Obscuring Fog. Attached to your location, limit once per location. Attached location gets +2 Shroud. After attached location is successfully investigated, discard Obscuring Fog. Well, we got really lucky on these two. That's a blank, and it'll stay there, and it won't come back. So that's really nice. All right, into the Mythos phase, Jacqueline will use her Arcane Initiate. We get a Crystal Pendulum, Deny Existence level 5, and Azure Flame. We'll take the Deny level 5. All right, I think Jacqueline will go first. She'll spend 2 resources to play Recall the Future. Get rid of these arcane researches. We don't need them on our board. Action 2, she's just going to move to the Halls of Nakotis. All right, we'll reveal that. This is the Eastern Corridor, and then it's a 3 shroud, 1 clue. During your turn, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. Move to another copy of Halls of Nakotis. Limits once per turn. Okay. I moved the wrong investigator. All right. So that was her second. Third action, we're going to move into the interview room and see if we get... There's one of these that has a victory point, so I'm going for. Okay, we get the Arrival Chamber. After you begin your turn in this location, if there's a Yithian enemy in this location, draw 1 card. So there's no clues, 2 shrouds. So we know now we want to go to this other interview room. All right, so Wini will take first action to move out of the interview room. I mean, she could do... Can she do that? Can she pull off that fight test? Let's see. What is it? 4 combat or 4 intellect? Let's see. She could commit, watch this, to the fight test and all in, and she would be at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 4 is not great. All right. I think she'll take an action, actually, to just draw a card first. She gets a Nimble. That doesn't help. Action 2, she's going to draw a card. Quick Thinking. All right. I think we'll go ahead and do the test. We are testing 4 combat. We're going to commit all in, which will double the icons on. Quick Thinking. 1 of our backstabs. And watch this. Putting 3 resources, 3 of her resources into watch this. And 3 from Gregory Gry. I want to succeed by 3. All right, we are at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to beat 4. Up by 5. Just going for all the effects and getting a thing done. Zero. Okay, cool. All right, so we get an action back from Quick Thinking. We get the 3 resources from Gry. We get the 6 from Watch This, so that helps. Okay. We succeeded by 5, so we do get to draw 5 cards from All In, and then it's removed from the game. Hopefully it's done its work. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well that intel report will probably come in handy. So will the Pilfer, if we can get enough agility actions going on. agility icons, I should say. All right. Last action. We're just going to move out of that location, so we're closer to Jacqueline. Wini will get 3 aces. Jacqueline will get another right of seeking. All right, we're at 3 of 5 doom thanks to the initiate, and Wini will get Ythian Presence. They put Ythian Presence into play in your threat area. If there's a Ythian enemy at your location, you cannot investigate that location or trigger action abilities on encounter cards, including this card. You can choose and discard 2 cards from your hand to discard Ythian Presence. And then Jacqueline will get Rotting Remains. Test 3 willpower. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. Okay. She will use the Arcane Initiate in the window of this test. There's an Olive, an Azure Flame, and a Water Protection. We will take the Water Protection. We would like to take the Olive, but Olive is not a spell, sadly. Alright, we are at 3v3. We don't care about failing this test because we can just put Horror on the Arcane Initiate, kill her off. I'm fine with that at this point. And we will recall the future on the Elder Thing, because the Elder Thing, if we fail, we'll place one of our clues on our location. We don't want to do that. So, all right, here we go. 3v3. Give the Arcane Initiate some horror. Zero. We just pass. Okay, well, that is a thing. Alright, so I think we go just to investigate the interview room. So action 1, we go into the halls and Codis. 2, we move into the interview room. This is the Ickerfield Chamber. It's forced. After you enter this location, test 3 willpower. Take 1 horror for each point you fail by. It's a victory point 1. It's a shroud of 1, and there are 2 clues here. So we have to do another Rotting Remains test, essentially. Okay. So we are, again, just going to test even. We'll recall the future on the Elder Thing. Zero, again. Okay. You know, when I got these new mats, I got a new bag. And I'm digging this new bag. What do you think? A lot of zeros. Maybe it's just bad shuffling. I don't know. Okay, and we'll use another charge clairvoyance. We are at 2, 3, or 2, 3 to beat 1. We're up by 2. We will recall the future on the -3. No, on the skulls, because if you have the skulls would be a -5 for us. Yeah. So our last action, we're investigating. Okay, Elder Thing, we fail. All right. Oh, I just remembered the clairvoyance. I should have taken a horror from the clairvoyance. So we'll just put that on Arcane Initiate. Did we have the Arcane Initiate out? We didn't. So it would have been on us, actually. All right. Oof. Okay. Well, it is what it is. I wish we'd had the Arcane Initiate out. That was way back when, but I was pretty sure I got a 0 on that first clairvoyance test. All right. So what are we doing with Wini? We're going to... How many clues do we need? We need 2 more clues. And we're going to trust that Jacqueline's going to get it next turn. Alright. So we'll just draw for more setup. Action 1, Wini will draw. She gets a sneak by. It's not very useful in this scenario. Action 2, we're just going to discard sneak by and one of our nimbles to clear the Ithian presence. Because we just have too many cards in our hand anyway. Action 3, we're going to draw another card. Another copy of 3 aces. Well, maybe we could pull off 3 aces. When he draws a lockpicks, well, we'd like to play that eventually. What would we discard from our hand? Probably a sneak attack. And she gets a resource. Alright. Jacqueline will draw Spectral Razor. And she gets a resource. We need to be able to play our Shriveling and our Ice Seeking. We need some monies. Okay, we're at 4 or 5 Doom. We are about to advance if we don't kill this Arcane Initiate. But it might be okay. Alright. I mean, if we advance 1 round early, I'm not too worried about it because of the way the scenario works. Okay. Wini will get a Scholar from Yith. So it's prey most cards in hand. Forced when a Scholar from Yith attacks you. I could have used the sneak attack on this guy. Discard 2 random cards from your hand. If Scholar from Yith is ready and engaged with you, you parlay this 3 intellect to attempt to pass as a member of the creature's race. If you succeed, draw 1 card and evade Scholar from Yith. If you fail, put Scholar from Yith. It attacks you. Again, it's 2/2/2, so it is what it is. Alright. Okay. And then Jacqueline will get Cruel Interrogations. Put Cruel Interrogations into play in your threat area. If an investigator has interviewed the subject, take 1 horror and it gains Surge. You cannot take draw actions. I didn't mark it, but we have interviewed the subject. Alright. So, we have to draw another card. And we take a horror, which will go on our Arcane Initiate. We get another Cruel Interrogations, okay, which will surge. I just need to do 1 more horror to this Arcane Initiate. Okay, well, we got a Crypt Trail. Test 4 willpower. If you fail, choose and discard 1 asset you control. You cannot take 2 damage instead. I wonder which asset we're going to do. But first, in this test, we'll go ahead and use her 1 last time. And we get, let's see, the top 3 cards here. Robes, Olive, and Recharge. We can take Recharge. It is a spell. Which I'll probably just end up committing, honestly. I got so many cards in my hand. Alright, we're testing this at 3v4. We actually want to fail. We prefer not to drop a clue, though. Let's see. Can we do anything about the other things? We cannot. Alright. We're not going to recall on anything. Elder Sign. Okay. We pass, sadly. And we draw 2 cards. No, draw 1 card. Okay. We get a Crystal Pendulum, which we cannot put into play. But it is a nice card to have. Alright. Alright. So I guess we're just going to advance early. Unless we want to do shenanigans like moving back into the interview room. Oh, actually, Clairvoyance could give us another horror if we draw poorly. Or draw well. Okay, we're going to investigate action 1. We will commit the recharge here. So we are at 2, 3, 4, 5 to beat 1. We'll call on the -5. That is not the thing that gives me a horror. It is a -3, but we do pass. So we get the 2 clues. I think I'm just going to I think we're just going to go ahead and advance and let the let's just advance early. I mean, I could go and let this Scholar from Yeth attack me. It's just if he attacks you, you discard 2 cards at random from your hand, which kind of is not worth it, I think. So I think we just move and move. So, okay, action 1, she's going to move to the Halls of Nakotis. We will, I think, use the free trigger. On that, we'll discard a Spectral Razor to move to the west side. Yeah, I think that'll do it for us. And then the last action, let's take a resource. Alright, Wini needs to pull off an evade here. She is evading, she's at 3v2. And then we can just leave the Scholar from Yeth there because it doesn't hunt. We will commit probably the Nimble and the Quick Thinking to be 2, 3, 4. We can just go up by 2 with the Nimble, I guess. I'll save the Quick Thinking. It would be nice to succeed by more than... we want to be up 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll just do the Nimble at 5, because 2 icons from Nimble. Alright. And we'll gamble 1 off of Gregory Gry. Alright, evading at 3v2, or 5v2. It's -1. We do succeed by 1. So we get the resource from Gry. This guy's evaded. The Nimble will let us move. We'll move to where Jackie is. Oh, should have revealed this. So this is just the Western Corridor. During your turn, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. Move to another copy of Halls of Nakotis limits per turn. Same thing. And we get a clue. And a 3 shell. Alright. We will go ahead and spend all of our clues and advance the act. Cool. Alright. Finding your way. You explore the area near your interview chamber for some time, learning more of the city and its dwellers. It is a place of knowledge and research inhabited by beings who call themselves the great race of Yith. For the most part, the Yithians allow you to explore the city without troubling you, though some of them follow about and observe you with keen interest. As you pass through one of the city's meandering halls, you find a panel attached to the wall. It is a technological device you cannot hope to understand. As you stand in front of it, dumbfounded, one of your observers approaches cautiously. It extends one of its claw appendages and manipulates the panel in a convoluted manner. To your surprise, the wall in front of you slides open to reveal another series of halls. The creature steps aside to let you pass. So we put each set aside location into play, including the new ones from the turn version. We choose one of those locations at random and put this aside custodian asset into play at the randomly chosen location. And each copy of Yithian Observer is no longer aloof. Okay, welcome back. I've got it all laid out. The custodian is at the Tower of Nakotis. I have, this is a little bit weird up here on the left because I'm trying to make room for the graphics. I ran out of one. I had one too few connections for all this, so there is a connection in the middle connecting those two. But I wanted to get all the others, mapped out so we can see them. All right, and now we'll look at unrestricted access. This is a new act as of the return version. Objective: if 3 other following are true, you must advance, and it gives a whole list of things. We've done one of them so far. All right, so Wini still has 2 actions. So we are going to spend another action to move into the Towers of Nakotis, where the custodian is. It is a 2-shroud, 4-clue location, victory point 2. You can take an action to discard any number of cards from your hand, shuffle the discard pile into your deck, and draw cards equal to one more than the number of cards you discarded, limit once per turn. So. Okay, the Custodian is here. He has a free trigger when the investigation phase begins. If you control the Custodian, each investigator's location draws one card. We would love that. If the Custodian is not controlled by a player, you parlay, test 3 intellect to converse with the library Custodian. If you succeed, something about its mannerisms seems familiar to you. Place one of your clues on it. Then, if there are 2 clues on it, take control of the Custodian. All right. So we need some clues if we want to do that. So we are going to just spend 4 resources, and we are going to play Intel Report and just grab 2 clues, because that's how we roll. For our last action. When he draws, watch this. No resource. And Jacqueline will draw Astral Travel. So we do have to ditch 1 card from her hand. Astral Travel actually could be pretty nice in this scenario. I wonder if we just ditch the Read the Signs. We'll ditch the Read the Signs for now. Alright. I don't see how Jacqueline can possibly pass the Custodian test, honestly. So maybe we save that for being a Wini thing. And we should have gotten a resource. Okay. So we're at 5 Doom because of the Arcane Initiate. Sadness. We advance. We get the Replicator. As you traverse the strange halls, you come across a chamber you hadn't noticed before. It is filled with trinkets and items of all kinds from various civilizations. Many of them match the description you have given the city's inhabitants. Descriptions of equipment you had on your person when you first encountered the creatures. Have they somehow replicated the objects you had with you? You take what you can find and continue exploring. Each investigator searches the top 9 cards of his or her deck for up to 2 item assets and draws them. Shuffle each search deck. Note, investigators are now able to put item assets into play. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Boo. If the Custodian is in play and not controlled by an investigator, move it to the location with the most clues on it. Well, it is at the location with the most clues on it. And we get a new agenda, which is Lost Memories. Little by little, the memories of your former life are starting to fade. The most recent events are the first to disappear, but soon you begin to lose your grip on your human identity. Each investigator's maximum hand size is reduced by 2. Ugh, it's going to make that 3 haste is really hard to hold on to. All right, so they each get to, so we have to shuffle this back in. Okay, Wini's looking at the top 9. We're looking for a lucky cigarette case and a lockpicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lockpicks and lucky cigarette case. And that is going to be her turn, is playing those 2 things. Unless she gets some kind of an enemy. Let's hope she does not. And we'll go ahead and grab Jacqueline's, and then I'll shuffle these decks. So she's looking for 9. I don't really know that she cares actually for anything here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, the robes are an item, yep. And that's actually really good. And the crystal pendulum will take it. It's a willpower icon, so why not? We can throw it at something. Yeah, the robes is actually a really good thing to have in play. First encounter, Wini will get Captive Mind. Test willpower 0. Regardless of whether your skill test succeeds or fails, choose and discard all but X cards from your hand. X is your modified skill value for this test. I'm tempted to ward this, the only issue being because I really don't want to lose a bunch of cards. The only issue here is that Jacqueline, I don't know that she wants to take a bunch of horror right now. But because she's already, 3 horror, and she'll be at 4, 7 horror. That's really rough. No, it's fine. Okay, so Jacqueline will, she will spend 1 resource. She'll take a horror, and she will ward a protection. This. We could just put that on the Arcane Initiate, actually. But the Arcane Initiate is doing deck thing for us, so I think we'll just keep her around. Oh, her Doom is gone. Alright. And then Jacqueline will draw. She gets a Scholar from Yeth. This is a problem. It's a big problem. Let's see. If the Scholar from Yeth, you 2 random cards from your hand. What could we lose? We're going to lose a lot of cards anyway. Gosh. I just wanted her to be able to get out her Shriveling. Wini could move, engage, evade. She just doesn't get any of her good stuff out if we do that. Alright, I think Wini will action 1 move. Action 2, she's going to spend 2 resources to put down the Lucky Cigarette Case. Then she'll spend 3 resources. Play Backstab on the Scholar from Yeth. Alright, she's going to commit Watch This, putting 3 resources on it. Doubling its icons. So that will get her to 2, 3, 4, 5. She'll commit the Quick Thinking. Just 6. We'll put 3 from Gregory Gry on this. So we're at 6 versus 2. We'll just commit 2 copies of 3 aces to be 7, 8. Versus 2. And Jacqueline will commit our Astral Trouble. She's 9 versus 2. Up by 6. We want to succeed by 1 for the Watch This. +1. Okay. So exceeded by 7. We get to look through 7 cards of her deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looking for Chuck Fergus. Alright. I think we'll just take Manual Dexterity. At the very least we can pilfer. Okay, we get an action back from the Quick Thinking. The Scholar from Yeth is dead. It's sadness about the 3 aces, but they probably did me more work doing this. Alright, from the Watch This, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get 1, 2, 3 from Gregory Gry. The Backstab is going back into her hand at the end of her turn, but she'll take an action to play 3 resources, to spend 3 resources, to put out a Lockpicks. Alright. Jacqueline, I guess, uses the Arcane Initiate. I don't, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have the Recharge, the Shriveling, and the Voice of Ra. I think we're going to play the Voice of Ra. Okay, action 1, we'll play the Voice of Ra. So we get a resource. And then we reel 3 random tokens. For each spooky token, we get a resource. We get 2 resources. Okay, the autofill counts, so we get 2 more resources. I'll take it. Okay, then action 2, we'll spend 2 resources to put out the Robes of Endless Night. We'll exhaust it and spend 2 to put out a Shriveling. All right. Wini will draw Perception. That is a really good card for doing the thing with the Custodian. Jacqueline will get another Arcane Initiate. Maybe we could advance this one early, too. Do we need double Arcane Initiate out? All right. Jacqueline will drop a Crystal Pendulum. We're at 1 of 7 Doom. Wini will draw Crypt Chill. We could lose Gregory Cry. Yeah, that's fine. So we're at 2v4. -1. All right, Gregory Gry is gone. That's okay. Jacqueline will get Obscuring Fog. So we're attaching to location, and that's another good location for the Obscuring Fog. So good deal. All right. So I think Wini is just going to go in and try to do the thing with the Custodian. Yeah, so action 1. Just going to move in. Let's see, if she commits Perception to this, she would be at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to beat 3. Oh, Gregory Gry's gone. Alright, we'll commit the Perception to be 6 to beat 3. On this test, we can put one of her clues on the Custodian. That's a 0. Okay, we pass by 3. We exhaust like the Great Case. Looking at the top 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we will grab this Perception. And then we get to draw a card, which will be another Manual Dexterity. And we put a clue on the Custodian. The last action, we'll test with the Perception again, up by 3. Elder Sign. Okay, well, we're going to draw 2 cards, which means we're going to be discarding cards, or whatever. So we put our clue. Well, let's see. We'll draw the card from the Perception. Actually, we draw the card from the Elder Sign. We get to Anything You Can Do Better. We draw another card, which is Reckless. Ouch. So that's going to eat 2 of our resources. But we do gain control of the Custodian. So that's a good deal. Jacqueline is probably going to spend 2 resources to put out the Crystal Pendulum, which is pretty darn nice. Then I think we move. I think one of these is a victory point location. So I think we're just going to move and get the victory point locations off of there. She could move to be with Wini, but I think she can take care of herself now pretty well. Okay. So we play the Crystal Pendulum. 2, we'll move here. 3. Oh, you know, we'll Arcane Initiate. Why not? 1, 2, 3. We can take an Azure Flame in case we need to commit for a combat test. Last action, we'll go ahead and play the Arcane Initiate with a Doom on her. And we'll go ahead and exhaust her and look at the top 3 cards. Draw 1. We're trying to thin the deck now. Alright. None of those are spells, so it's fine. Before I drop, I should have revealed this card. This is the same thing. It's the Southern Corridor. It's not connected to the north one, just the west and the east. And it has the same trigger where you can move for discarding a card. All right. Winnie will draw, and she gets a 3 aces, which we know there's no 3 aces to be had. And then it's only one due. It's not. And then we get Harbinger of Fates, which I don't think does anything. There's some argument that when you use Jacqueline Fine's ability, you can exhaust it and use her does not count toward a limit, so she could, put icons twice on her card. I don't think it works that way, because I think it's not Jacqueline Fine, it's the body of the Aethian, but it's hard to say. Alright, we are at 3 of 7 Doom, and Winnie will draw, and she gets Aethian Presence. So play into your threat area. If there's a Aethian enemy at your location, you cannot investigate that location or trigger action abilities on encounter cards, including this card. Take an action to discard 2 cards from your hand to discard Aethian Presence. Jacqueline will get Dissonant Voices. You cannot play assets or events. She's going to be not useless with that, actually. So I think... Do we ward this? She could actually test her control interrogations. So yeah, we'll just let it. We'll let it ride. Beginning of the round, the custodian can investigation. Yeah, she gets to draw a card. So she draws a card, which will be Beta Whitsley. All right, that's pretty good. She's pretty good. So. The first thing I want to do, I want to put her into play, but the first thing I want to do is make sure that I can clear this Reckless. So we're going to exhaust lockpicks, we're going to investigate. This puts us at 5v2. We're committing Reckless. Oh, I would have had to have discarded a card. We would have just discarded our 3 aces. Alright, so we're committing this Reckless to this lockpicks investigate. So we're at, again, 5v2. Zero. Okay, we pass by 3. Reckless is gone. Exhaust a Lucky Cigarette Case, look at 3 cards and draw 1. We get Lucky Cigarette Case, Sneak Attack, and Slip Away. I think we'll just take the Lucky Cigarette Case for the... No, we don't need the Willpower Icons. We'll take this away. My mistake on the clue tracking there. We will then spend a resource to play Veda. And then we will exhaust her to look at the top card of the encounter deck. She's frozen in fear because I'm winning. She doesn't care. She will just, anything you can do better on that. So that's fine. Alright. And then the last action, she will spend 1, 2, 3 resources to play another copy of Lockpicks, which then gives her the ability to do multiple clues. Alright. And that's that. Alright, so we got this Dissonant Voices. Which means we can't do much. But we can test these cruel interrogations. We're going to do both of our arcane initiates here. So we get Robes, Voice of Ra, and Dark Future. We'll take Voice of Ra. Doing it again. Robes, Recharge, and Olive. Take the Recharge. We should be able to get to our Olives quickly enough. Alright, let's take an action to move. I want to see, I don't remember which one of these is the victory point one. This is the Alien Conservatory. While you're in the Alien Conservatory, decrease your maximum hand size by 2. That's no good. And then you can test 1 willpower. If you succeed, test 2 agility. If you succeed, test 3 intellect. If you succeed, remember that you saw a familiar specimen. Could she beat this? Could she beat this? We'd have to commit a Right of Seeking. Arbiter of Fates on the agility. We could do Arbiter of Fates on the agility. One of our Right of Seeking. That would be really hard to do. All right, there's 2 clues that we don't care about. All right. She would be at 3v4. No, up by 1. I think we can. Well, we'll try it once. Okay, action 1. We're going to commit to this test. We're action 1. We're at 2, 3, 4 v1, up by 2. We'll commit the voice of Ra to be 5 v1. There's no point to be up by 4, is there? There's not. Okay. We'll just go at it. So we're at 2, 3, 4. We'll call the future on the -5. Actually, we don't want to recall the future. We will commit the voice of Ra, and it gives us 2 icons. I forgot about that. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. V1 is good. -3, we pass. Okay, now we're doing the agility test. So we'll commit Arbiter of Fates, which has got 2, so it gives us 4 icons. So we're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're at 6v3, up by 3. I'm saving the recall for the very last one. So 6v3. Actually, we'll recall on the -5. Give it a go. -1. Okay, we pass. All right, and then we are doing the. Oh, that was the agility 2, and then intellect 3. So we're at 2v3. We'll commit the Rite of Seeking and cry a little, and the Ward of Protection. Okay, so that gets us to 2, 3, 4, 5 v3. We're up by 2. We'll recall the future on the -3. And is there a point to Crystal Pendulum? We'll Crystal Pendulum and say that we are going to draw -1. Skulls, basically. Alright, -1. Great. So we get to the we draw from the Crystal Pendulum, which is internal injury. Ouch. But we did do the thing, the Alien Conservatory. Great. And we'll take our last action to move out of the Alien Conservatory. And we'll now be in Cyclopean Vaults. It's a 5-shroud 2 clue. You can discard each non-weakness card in your hand. If you have no cards, you remember that you read about Earth. 2 double action. If you have fewer than 5 cards in your hand, draw cards until you have exactly 5 cards in your hand. Victory point 1. Okay, and there's 2 clues. How do we get that? If you have no cards in your hand, remember that you read about Earth. Discard all our cards. I don't think we're doing that. All right. So, pretty productive turn for Dissonant Voices. Wini will draw. She gets a sneak attack. And Jacqueline will draw. And she gets Dark Future. So we cannot cancel or ignore any of those tokens. Oh, this. She took a direct damage at the end of her turn. All right, so now she can't cancel or ignore, so Olive becomes a problem until Dark Future is gone. But we can still use Olive to kick out these Arcane Initiate. All right, which is the point there. Okay. Okay. We're at 3 of 7 Doom, 4 of 7 Doom. And Wini will draw Frozen in Fear that we knew she was going to get. And then Jacqueline will get Yithian Observer. It's 4/4/3. Prey is the fewest cards in hand. Forced, when Yithian Observer attacks you, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If you cannot, Yithian Observer deals +1 damage and +1 horror from this attack. Alright, and her Dissonant Voices is gone. Alright, so we'll do the thing of the Arcane Initiates. We'll do double Arcane Initiates to see what we got. Get Deny Existence, Recall the Future, and Olive. We'll take the Deny Existence. And then we get... None of those are spells. Alright. Alright, so let's kill this Yithian Observer. We're still going to take the damage from the internal injury, but I think we're okay. Alright, so action 1, we will shrivel. We're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to beat 4. We'll call the feature on the -3. Actually, on the cultist would cause us to fail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 0. Okay, so it's 2 damage onto the Yithian Observer. Action 2, we'll do it again. Shrivel. We'll call on the cultist. Cultist. We're calling on the future. -3. Alright, so we do a horror to our Arcane Initiate. The Yithian Observer is dead. Goes into the victory display. We will then, last action, exhaust the Robes of Endless Night and spend 3 resources to put out the Rite of Seeking, overriding our Clairvoyance. We got 3 charges on it. Alright, and then we take a damage from the internal injury. And then we have to Dark Future. So you reveal 5 random chaos tokens from the chaos bag. And if we get the Elder Sign, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did get the Elder Sign. First time. Alright, Dark Future. Alright. Oh, Wini should have drawn a card at the beginning of the round because of the Custodian. She gets Gregory Gry. So we know the last card in her deck actually is Chuck, which I think we do want Chuck. So we're not going to put Gregory Gry into play. Although we could do it for the resources. Let's use Veda and look at this. We get a scientist from Yes. He spawns at the laboratory of the Great Race. Aloof if an investigator has activated the device or dissected an organ, it gains. Okay, it's not a big deal. Yeah, he's kind of fine. Alright, we are frozen in fear, which means we don't really want to move. Let's use lockpicks. Investigate 5v2. Zero. Tap Lucky Cigarette Case. We should get Chuck here. Oh, wait. Alright, so when I picked up my deck, apparently I left 1 card on and it was Chuck, was at the bottom of my deck. So what we're going to say is that we exhausted the Lucky Cigarette Case. We could have looked through the last 2 cards, and we would have pulled Chuck Fergus. And that's... I this whole time I shuffled my deck. I've been looking through it and haven't gotten it, so it's not great. Anyway, we'll spend that. We got this clue, so we're at 2 clues. Then we will spend 3 resources to make ourselves broke. Put Chuck Fergus into play. So that was our second action. I think we will just take a resource. And then Oh, wait. No. We won't just take a resource. We will discard 2 cards from our hand to get rid of this this Youthian presence. We'll discard Slip Away and Gregory Gry. Oh, those are intellect icons, actually. We'll be fine. Alright. We'll get rid of the Youthian presence. And then our last action, we'll just commit anything you can do better to this Frozen in Fear. The end of our turn. Okay, so we're up by 1 billion. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 icons. So we're at 14 versus 3. And we get -1. So we pass by a lot. Okay, Wini will draw. Lucky cigarette case that we knew she had. Jacqueline will draw Olive. We're at 4, 5 of 7 Doom. And Wini will draw and gets a Scientist from Yith, which we knew about that. It goes into the Laboratory of the Great Race up here. And then Jacqueline will draw. She gets a Keeper of the Great Library. He's alert, aloof. If any investigator has found the process or realized what year it is, Keeper of the Great Library loses aloof and gains Hunter. So he's here in the Great Library. Okay. So I think I am going to do the thing here. Do we discard internal injury and then do an investigate? I think that's what we do, yeah. All right, we will discard internal injury. We will do the investigate with right of seeking. On the conservatory, we are at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to beat 5. We'll commit, all of this thing. Okay, so we're at this last action. We're at, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to beat 5. We're up by 3. We'll call the future on the negative. We'll commit deny existence as well. All right. So we'll recall the future on the -5. -2, she gets both clues. All right, that's another victory point. And then at the beginning of the round, actually, Wini should have taken a horror and cycled her deck because of drawing the card from the custodian. All right, and she gets 3 aces. All right, neato. All right, she has 3 actions. What are we going to do? Great Library, if I recall, is a bunch of intellect tests. I guess she can probably pass that. So action 1, she'll move. Action 2, she'll move into the Great Library. All right, so this is a 2 shroud, 4 clue. Spend 2 clues, and you test 3 intellect to decipher the information you found. If you succeed, you remember you found the process. At the end of the round, if there are fewer than 4 clues on the Great Library, you add clues to the Great Library until there are 4 clues on it. So there's 4 clues there. I just realized also that we should have advanced the act. So we'll advance the act. All right, so advancing the act. The process. The truth is hard to accept. Your body was never brought to this place. Your mind has been transferred into the body of one of these creatures. Somewhere, in another place, in another time, one of the reviled creatures dwells in your body. You no longer have to perform any of the following tasks. However, the more you have performed by the time the scenario ends, the easier the transition to your human body will be, and the less likely the process to fail or backfire. Be careful. And then we put that as a reminder. And then we have repossession. You have gathered the knowledge necessary to repossess your body, but before you can initiate the process, you must expand your mind. Each Youthian observer gains Hunter. Spend 1 clue, draw 2 cards instead of 1. If your hand exceeds your maximum hand size, draw 1 additional card. Objective: if each surviving investigator has 10 or more cards in his or her hand, immediately advance. Okay, and then it gives us a warning to make sure we've done as much as we can. All right, so I think we'll engage the keep. Do we want the? Actually, maybe we just want a bunch of clues. Yeah, I think so. So we will. Last action, we'll exhaust Chuck and play Pilfer for 2. And we'll give ourselves the agility boost, and we'll commit manual dexterity. Actually, do we need the agility boost? Manual dexterity here is worth 6 icons, and we're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 2. So we don't need the agility. So we'll actually do this. We'll do fast. So I have 1 action remaining here. All right, 2. All right, -2. All right, cool. So, Pilfer will go back into our hand. We draw 2 cards for the manual dexterity. Let's draw those first, and then we can do the lucky cigarette case. So we get anything you can do better and intel report. Nice. Okay. And then we get the 3 clues. All right, and then we draw 2. Oh, we can exhaust the lucky cigarette case. We got a -2, right? And we were up by 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7. So we succeeded by 5. So look at 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The money from Watch This would be very nice, but we don't have anything to put into it. I think I'm going to take the Nimble. And we can pull off an evade and leave that guy, or something. Good deal. I guess we'll exhaust Beta and look at this card. It's a Dissonant Voices. She only has 1 horror on her. Thank you very much. Dissonant Voices means we can't backstab Keeper of the Great Library, and I think that's a problem. So we will give her a horror, and we will discard Dissonant Voices. We actually have 1 more action, right? Just take a resource. Wini will get Watch This. Our resource. We'll drop the lucky cigarette case. I think we'll drop the intel report. And sneak attack. Alright. Jacqueline will draw. She gets Shriveling Robo 3. Alright, we are now at 6 of 7 Doom. Arcane Initiate needs to go away. And we will draw and get Lost Humanity for Wini. Test 5 willpower. For each point you fail by, remove the top card of your deck from the game. If you have fewer than 10 total cards in your hand, deck, and discard pile, you are driven insane. No. Anything you can do better on this. So, 12v5. Oh, we will commit Watch This for 2 resources. Okay, that's a 0. So we succeed. We were at 12, 13 versus 5. So we succeed by 8. We'll exhaust the lucky cigarette case. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to grab a copy of 3 aces. I'm going to try to assemble them. Let's see if this is doable. But with the Lucky Cigarette case, it might be doable. And then she succeeded from the, watch this, she'll go up to 4 resources. Jacqueline will get Yithian Presence. When your player area, if there's Yithian enemy at your location, you cannot investigate that location, trigger action abilities on encounter cards. Choose to discard 2 cards from your hand, discard Yithian Presence. Alright. So, let's just go first. Action 1, she'll spend 2 resources to get rid of the Arcane Initiate. Put down Olive McBride. Action 2, she will take the action to discard how many cards from your hand? Discard each non-weakness card in your hand. Okay, so I hate that I'm getting rid of the Deny 5. But it's because that was kind of like my situation for dealing with horror, but Olive has horror healing. And it does give me the ability to... and I think I can fill my hand back up with the Arcane Initiates. So... and we're about to cycle our deck, so I just think we can do this. Okay, anyway, last action, we'll do the Remember. So we now, if you have no cards left in your hand, remember that you've read about the Earth. So we've read about the Earth. So, cool. And that's, we've done the thing. So we've actually done 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've just got to do 2 more things, and we're in good shape. All right, let's see what Wini can do. So I wanted her to be able to pass this intellect test, and I was going to do it by, I had a plan to do it, and I forgot that I committed all the cards that I needed to do that with. So let's use Veda to look at this card. It's going to be a captive subject. Spawns in the Alien Conservatory, aloof retaliate. If a subject is read about the Earth or a familiar specimen, it loses aloof against hunter. That would be terrible. So yeah, we put a damage on Veda, and we can discard that. Alright. Oh, we get to draw a card from the Custodian. Keep reading that. Maybe it'll have intellect icons. It has the intellect icon. So we would get just 2, 3, 4 to beat. Yeah, still not great. Alright, so I'm going to, action 1, engage the Keeper of the Great Library. I am going to exhaust Chuck, spending 1 resource to play Backstab. We'll take an action, so we'll get the agility boost. We're going to commit manual dexterity, so we're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We do not need the intellect boost, so we'll just do it fast. Okay, so we're at 9v3. I'm hoping that we draw into some intellect icons here. Or 3 aces. Okay, -5. Okay. I just realized the Keeper of the Great Library has 4 health, and I'm only going to do 3 damage to it. This was terrible. Alright. Well, bummer. Alright, so anyway, we're at 9. We succeed by 1, because 9 minus 5 is 4. So we only get to draw 1 card. The Backstab gets discarded. This was a terrible plan. I have made lots of mistakes. He gets 3 damage on him. We draw 1 card. I don't know what card could make this okay. It is a sneak attack. Okay. Well, that is a card that can make it okay, I suppose. We could punch him. We could be up by 1. That's no good. We can evade at 2, 3. Okay, I think we just commit the 3 aces to a punch. So we're going to be at 2, 3, 4, and commit this other copy, 3, 4, 5. We're at 5v3. to just punch this guy. -2. Okay, he is dead. No longer a problem. Alright, then we can do this test where we spend 2 of our clues. Oh, this whole thing should have been filled up with clues. So we'll spend 2 of our clues, and we'll test. We're at 2v. We have to beat a test of 3, right? 2v3. We'll commit sneak attack and Gregory Gry. 2v2, 3, 4, 5. Up by 2. That's 0. Okay, so we have done that thing, which is we have found the process. All right, so we just need to do one more thing. Doing 6 is the way to go. Wini will get Reckless. Okay. Resource. Jacqueline will get Guts. That's good for drawing cards. Our resource. Alright, we are at 6 of 7. Wini will draw Rotting Remains. 3 willpower. Alright. I think we're just going to lose Beta here. Actually, she could take some horror. She's got no horror on her. Alright, we're going to get 2v3. -3. Take 3 horror. We'll put 1 on Chuck and she'll take 2. Not a big deal. Alright. And then Jacqueline will get Cruel Interrogations. She's going to take a horror. Oh no, we'll put that on Olive. That's why we have Olive. One reason we have Olive. Cruel Interrogations then gains Surge. And we get another Yithian Presence. Alright. What a threat area, huh? Alright, so I'm going to have Jacqueline will go first. Action 1. She is going to test her Cruel Interrogations. She's at 2, 3, 4. Alright, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to say that she draws a skull with the crystal pendulum. Elder Sign. Okay, so she gets to draw 3 cards, which is the rest of her deck. 2 from the Guts and 1 from her Elder Sign. So she's got the Robes, Recall the Future, and Olive McBride. Good deal. So we can actually kill off Olive McBride with Horror and play another one. We do want to play that Recall the Future, but we don't have enough resources to do it. One of these Cruel Interrogations is gone. Okay, so then I think she just moves here. We'll just, and then we'll move to the Halls of Nakotas. That's fine. All right. And we can't Arcane Initiate yet because we do not have we have an empty draw done. We should have drawn from the Custodian at the beginning of the round. We're going to get a sneak by here. That's actually pretty good for committing to a Pilfer. All right, so action 1. Wini will use Lockpicks, committing Reckless. So we're at 5v2. We're just trying to get rid of this Reckless because it's going to hurt us. Okay, that is a -1. She's only got 3 cards in her hand. So Reckless is gone. Get a clue. Alright, and then I suppose we could Pilfer. Why would we pilfer? Because clues are good. Yeah. We will pilfer, spending 2 from Chuck. We'll make it fast and free. We're at 2, 3. We'll commit sneak by and nimble. Sneak by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. This will give us some movement. So we're 8v2, right? Yep. +1. Okay, we can lucky cigarette case too. Nice. So we'll lucky cigarette case first. We were at 8v2, so 9v2, so we can succeed by 7. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we'll take the perception. We get the 3 clues. Pilfer's going back to hand. Winnie's in pretty good shape. And she gets to move 3 times because of nimble. So we go 1, 2. This Halls Nakotis, it's connected to the by icons. It's connected to the west and the east. And it's got 1 shroud and the same thing, or 1 clue, 3 shrouds, same thing as the others. You can discard a card to move. Second, she'll go into the Laboratory of the Great Race. This is 2 shroud, 2 clues. If there's no clues on the Laboratory of the Great Race, test 3 agility to manipulate the controls and the technological device nearby. If you succeed, remember that you activated the device. If you fail, place 1 clue on the Laboratory of the Great Race from the token pool. There's 2 clues, and we don't care about this. It's not a victory point location. So we don't really want to activate the science from yes. If we can avoid it. And let's see, what is he? It's activating the device or dissecting an organ. Yeah, that's not the dissecting the organ. All right. So I think it's remember what year it is the Aethiopian Ori is the one we want to do. But we still want to go into the destruction room to get the victory point there. All right, so we'll go into the destruction room, and we can probably pilfer this. This is a 3 shroud, 2 clue. You can test 4 fight to attempt to retrieve a valuable organ from one of the alien cadavers. It gets +1 difficulty for each clue in the deconstruction room. If you succeed, remember that you dissected an organ, victory point 1. So we can avoid this and never make the scientist from Yith mad. So that's good. All right. So we actually only done 1. Yeah, because we did a free test here. We've got this perception, this filter. The pilfer. We can pilfer next round. Oh, we could lock picks, actually. We could just get these clues now, right? All right. So we'll lock picks to be 5 versus 4. 5 versus 3. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go at 5 versus 3. No, we'll commit the perception. 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 3. -2. So we pass, we don't break a pick, and we get a card, which is 3 aces. Not that useful. And we get a clue. Going for the BP. Alright, last action, I think we just draw a card. Fill up our hand. We could spend a clue to draw 2 cards. Sure, actually, we can do that, right? Spend 1 clue, draw 2 cards. Yeah, we'll spend a clue and draw 2 cards. We get Gregory Gry and Backstab. Okay, we can fight again. That's great. Winnie will draw Nimble. Jacqueline will take a horror on Olive McBride. Jacqueline will draw. She gets another crystal pendulum and a resource. Agenda advances. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Oh, I forgot. I wouldn't have shuffled in the cruel interrogations if I remember it does that. No investigator's dependent, so we don't keep reading that. Okay, and then we're on to humanity's fading. How long has it been? Days? Weeks? Years? Each investigator's maximum hand size is reduced by 4. So we're down to 4 hand size. Let's shuffle this back in. When he draws dissonant voices. Alright, we just end up using lockpicks is fine. Jacqueline will get Crypt Chill. What do we lose? We could lose the robes. We could lose another olive. That's fine. Well, Arcane Initiate before this starts. Get Azure Flame, Read the Signs, and Guts. We'll just take a Read the Signs and elect icons, and getting clue, getting tech is always good. I'm going to say we break even on the test with the Crystal Pendulum. Now we'll recall the future on the Elder thing. Oh, I don't know why I read I don't know. I was thinking about olive. Anyway, we got the skull, so we fail. It's been -3. So we'll just lose olive. We weren't using olive. We were losing olive. Right. So that is fine. Jacqueline will spend 2 to put out a new olive. And then she'll take an action to move and an action to move. That should be fine. Okay. Oh, well, I keep forgetting the custodian. We draw, we get a quick thinking. Okay. Alright. We can't play Pilfer. But we can exhaust lockpicks. We're at 5v3. We'll commit quick thinking. 5, 6, 7 v3. We get 2, 7, 6, 5. We succeed by 2. We get our quick thinking action. And we don't break a pick. And we get the clue. So that's a victory point. And we succeeded by 3. We'll exhaust Lucky Cigarette Case. Go 1, 2, 3. And we can take... We'll take Watch This, because why not? We'll use Veda before we forget to look, and we get another Dissonant Voices. Okay. I guess we'll just let it ride. She'll go 1, 2 into the Ithian Ori. It's a 4 Shroud, 2 Clue. And there's 2 actions if there's no clues on Ithian Ori. Remember that you realize what year it is. When you are in the Ithian Ori, increase your maximum hand size by 2. So we can keep drawing up to 6 cards while we're in there, and there's no reason to leave there. I think we're in pretty good shape. We will, so that was 1, 2. We'll use lockpicks. We're at 5v4. We'll just commit 3 aces. 3, 6, 7 v4. Zero. Okay. Good deal. And we get a clue. It's actually going to be a problem for Jacqueline. She needs to get some clues. We need to save some clues for her. Wini will draw. She gets a slip away. And she gets to keep it because her hand size is increased. Jacqueline will get internal injury. Okay. Yuck. We're at 107 due. She didn't have to drop cards though because you're in internal injury. And Wini will draw the Dissonant Voices. This one should have already gone away. Got two of them, so just gonna keep on keeping on. And then Jacqueline will get the Keeper of the Great Library. Spawns the Great Library. An investigator has found the process or realized what year it is. Keeper of the Great Library game. This is. Okay. We have found the process. So he does lose Aloof and gains Hunter. Alright. So, Jacqueline will just clear the internal injury, and then she'll take an action to Rite of Seeking, because we need clues. We are at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 V2. She'll recall in the -5. -2. She passes and she gets the 2 clues. Alright, great. Now, if she has no clues, she can do the thing. Alright, Wini should have drawn a card at the end of the round. She gets Arrogance. Alright. I mean, that counts as a card in her hand, so we don't really care. We are going to do the lockpicks to investigate. We're at 5v4. We will commit Gregory Gry to be 5, 6, 7 v4 is fine. We really want to be 8 v4. Oh, we have to Arrogance. It takes us back down. So we're at 5, 6, 7, 6 v4. 6, 7, 6. And then we'll commit slip away to be at 7v4. -2. Okay, we break a lockpick, but we do get the last clue. And we get Arrogance stays in our hand. And then we'll take 2 actions to realize what year it is, right? So we got the victory point, we got that. We're in good shape. Alright, so now we just need to test off these cruel interrogations, and then we can draw up our hands, and we should be able to beat this. So, but she's already gone. Wini will draw. She gets a Perception. And Jacqueline will get Ward of Protection. She'll keep that. She will drop probably the Robes of Endless Night. Actually, yeah, that's fine. We're at 2 of 7 Doom. This goes away. Wini will get Lost Humanity. Let's test 5 willpower for each point you fail by. Remove the top card of your deck from the game. If there are fewer than 10 total cards in your hand, deck, and discard pile, you are driven insane. Not a problem. We have 1 card left, so this is going to do almost nothing. We'll commit Arrogance to it. Okay, 0. We fail by a lot. We're going to remove Quick Thinking from the game. Arrogance goes into her discard pile. Alright. And then Jacqueline will draw. She gets Captive Mind. You're going to test 0 willpower. Regardless of whether the skill test succeeds or fails, choose and discard all but X cards from your hand, where X is your modified skill value for this test. So we are at 4v0. Could just board this, huh? Rather than just dumping a bunch of hand cards. Yeah, sure. We'll spend 1, put a horror on Olive, and ward it. Alright, so action 1, we draw the card. So take a horror on Wini, and she draws a card because of the custodian. Thanks, custodian, you're giving me horror. And she gets a sneak attack. Alright. Action 1, Jacqueline will move in. Action 2, she'll test cruel interrogations. I guess we'll go ahead and use the Arcane Initiate. 1, 2, 3. We'll take the deny 5 for sure. If we had done that before, we could have if we had used the Arcane Initiate during the test of Captive Mind instead of canceling it, then we could have just failed it and drawn up a bunch of cards. Would have been great. How was I to know? Oh, actually, I could have used the Robe of Endless Night to discount my word of protection. Oh well. Alright, so anyway, we are at 4v2 on this test. We will say we'll be even on it. We'll call the other thing we'll call the future. All of it has not been useful because of our values in this. Okay, +1. Well, we do pass the cruel interrogations. We do not the draw from the crystal pendulum. We'll do the same thing. We're at again 2, 3, 4. 4v2. We're calling on the elder things. Wait. There's no reason to recall on the elder things because we're already passing on the elder things. We'll recall on the -3 and be smart about this. I am a silly person. Alright. +1 again. Alright, I'll take it. And we've gotten rid of those. Alright. Now, Wini. I mean, she really doesn't have anything to do. Her hand is solid. So she'll just pass her turn. And the next turn we can just go for it. In terms of getting cards. Okay. No, this guy should have hunted. Wini gets a manual dexterity. She has to drop 1 card. We will drop the nimble. We're not planning to go anywhere. Right, Jacqueline will draw, and she gets Voice of Ra, as if we needed resources. 3 of 7 Doom. Wini will get Rotting Remains. Don't think she cares about this. Could it kill her? Not really. We get 2v3. Okay, auto fail. She will just kill Chuck and Beta, and then take 1 horror. We're getting out of here anyway. She can leave her friends behind. Alright, and then Jacqueline will get Captive Subject. Okay, it spawns the Alien Conservatory. If an investigator is right about the Earth or saw a familiar specimen, the captive subject loses aloof and gains hunter. That's fine. Alright, so Jacqueline will do the action to spend 1 clue to draw 2 cards. She gets Voice of Ra and Right of Seeking. And if she's above her hand size, which is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she draws one more card, which is a recharge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, action 2, she'll do it again. Spending one of her clues to draw 2 cards. Arcane Initiate, recharge, and she gets to draw another card. Deny existence. Alright, so she is now up to 11 cards. Great. Alright, Wini will spend a clue and draw 2 cards. Oh, wait, they both should have drawn a card from the custodian. So, okay. Now we have even more. So, from the custodian, she gets Lucky Cigarette Case. She draws 2 from spending a clue. She gets Gregory Gry and Sneak By, and then another card for being over her hand size. She's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. We can advance. Alright, we have Back to the Future. The machine whirs with intense vibrations. It has taken many hours to construct, and you have had to build it in secret, using the knowledge you have gathered from the various areas within the city. It is a strange device of rods, wheels, and glass, about half the size of a small filing cabinet. A circular mirror in the center sends your alien reflection staring back at you. You activate the device, and you feel a tugging on your psyche, stretching your consciousness across the aether of space and time. The memories come flooding back. R1. And let's take a look at our victory points. We have the 2 Yithians. We've got this location. Well, we'll count. We got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Let's see. We also did the Great Library. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got. Okay, so 6. Okay, so we got all 6, and then we have 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 VP. So we'll take it. 8 VP is 9 VP. 9 VP. And then I think we get 3? I have to check what we get from the interlude. But yeah, 9 VP. So very successful run. Very happy with that. It's a long scenario, but we did okay. Hope you enjoyed it. We're rounding out the final. We got 2 or 3 more scenarios to go. We'll be done with this campaign. So hope you're enjoying it. I'll see you next time on Winging It.